Hello, freaks. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Onnit. That's Onnit. Onnit is a human optimization website. What we sell is all things that we have found that benefit you physically and mentally, like strength and conditioning equipment, healthy supplements and foods. I was camping in Alaska for a week, hunting deer on Prince of Wales Island, and I ate about 1,000 of these fucking Warrior bars. I lived off these things. Buffalo meat with cranberries and pepper, no antibiotics, no added hormones, gluten-free, no nitrates added. All this shit's healthy. No MSG, and it gives you 14 grams of protein and only 4 grams of fat in a 2-ounce serving with 140 calories. Super healthy and natural. It's one of the things that we sell at Onnit.com, as well as things along the lines of strength and conditioning equipment like kettlebells and battle ropes and steel clubs and maces. And the guy that was just here, Keith Weber, the Extreme Kettlebell Cardio Workout Series. Excellent workout resources. We also have the Onnit Academy that's filled with inspiration, all sorts of informative articles and videos about strength and conditioning and fitness and how it applies to things like martial arts and athletics and various pursuits. If you go to Onnit.com, Onnit, and use the code word Rogan, you will save 10% off any and all supplements. Rejoice, ladies and gentlemen, because Anthony Cumia has flown in the great metal tube from New York, and he's here. Please,
finally,
cue the music.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Anthony!
Damn.
He's
what an
here.
intro. That's nice, man.
Dude, when you started doing your show in your basement while you were doing the Opie and Anthony show, and you set up like a pro studio with a fucking green screen and real professional like camera, broadcast quality cameras, I was like, we need to fucking do something like that. And that's when Brian and I started out with the Ustream shows, directly influenced by not just you doing your show in Long Island, but also the style of show that you guys did on Opie and Anthony.
Yeah, which was just pretty much a hangout, you know, talking like real people talk. Not professional broadcasters.
Hey, so you're in town. You're telling those wacky jokes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about lately?
That's what I wanted to do with Live from the Compound, especially, is make it look as professional as possible, and then have people watch and go, why is this guy like, did he hijack a news set because he's drinking, he's cursing, he's talking about shit that shouldn't be discussed, and that's kind of why I wanted it to look so good. I wanted it to look very professional, but be done very unprofessionally.
Well, it's unprofessional, but it is professional.
Yes, exactly, but not in the sense of what we see every day on the news and that phoniness that you just see every day with those people that don't act like real people. If something happens, a mistake or a blooper, or someone yells fuck in the background of somebody doing a live shot, the anchor loses his mind like he just saw a murder. They freak out. So I just wanted to bring that look, that professional, slick look, to me, who is just sitting there, like I said, drinking, probably hungover. I made the show at 4 p.m. Eastern time just so I could sleep late. I didn't even think, like, let me research and see what the best time to do a live show. It's like, I could be up by 4. So that was pretty much the criteria for that. So it really is being able to do my own thing, which I hadn't been able to do for many years.
Well, when you were doing it also while you were doing O&A.
Much to management chagrin.
Yeah, they were telling you not to do it, right?
Yeah. They wanted exclusivity. And I was like, this is completely different from what I'm doing on the O&A show. It's video-based. It's me alone in my house. I'm not bouncing off of Opie and Jim. I rarely have guests. Well, the new show is a lot different than Live from the Compound because I do have guests. But back then, they were getting on me about exclusivity, and it's like, it's a completely different thing. And it's in my house.
Yeah.
I bought this shit. Let me just have fun.
Well,
it's
that's
like
all
a
you
toy.
were doing. You had no agenda. You were just having fun.
That was it. I had no schedule, no anything. I would just pop on whenever I wanted to. If I had people over the house singing karaoke.
With machine guns.
With machine guns. That was crazy gun guy karaoke and just anything. But that is the freedom of being able to do whatever you want like that. It's amazing when you're able to do stuff like that, you realize how tied up you were.
Yeah.
When you worked for the man.
Yeah. Do you ever see yourself going back to Sirius and doing something like that again, or are you too free now?
It's once you let the dog out of the house, man, it's very hard to keep him in. And I'm loving this. It's so much freedom. It's a lot of fun. I'll be honest, the gig at Sirius was great. It was 4 hours a day. I made a boatload of money and sat there and joked around with the likes of Jim Norton and Opie, and comics would just come through, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. But then there were those little instances where management would come in and fuck the whole fun up. Just fuck it up. And now to have the ability to just do anything, talk about anything, not have to go through all the logistical red tape bullshit with management. Keith the cop is my executive producer here. He's never executive produced anything but probably bruises on perps' heads when he was a cop. But with 3 emails, we set up a poker tournament over in Connecticut there. Fucking, where is it, Foxwoods or Mohegan? Mohegan. You always get them confused. In no time. And we had been trying to do this with SiriusXM for years. Just let us get a poker tournament together. Nothing. Oh, this, that, we got to sell this. This one, got to talk to that one. That. And now it's just like, Keith, let's do a poker tournament. Okay, I'll call the guy. And boom, we're done. We're set up.
I always feel like satellite radio is the bridge from terrestrial radio to the internet.
Very good.
That it's this bridge that allows people to see, oh, this is what it's like if you allow guys to come on and just swear and say whatever the fuck they want and talk the way they like. What you guys did on O&A is you would talk the way you would talk if you were just hanging out.
Right.
And there was no other radio show that was doing that. Every other radio show you would go on, the guy who was the host had a very clear agenda. He was pushing the conversation. You were being interviewed. Mm-hmm. They would ask you probing questions, try to keep you on your heels, try to manipulate the conversation where it went. On O&A, you would ask questions if you were curious. Right. And then we would all just hang out and talk.
Yeah, it was just more like friends hanging out. And that's what, especially with just a room full of guys, that's what we do. We hang out, we goof on each other. We hope to get a great line in that makes the other guy look like an asshole, and the person you're goofing on is laughing more than the people that are goofing on him.
Yeah.
That's what friends do. That's how guys hang out. And to have a show like that is a very rare thing. And I think you're absolutely right about that bridge to the internet. When I was on terrestrial radio early in my career, you looked at satellite radio like, what? Who's listening to that? Nobody. It's the graveyard for radio. And then we ended up there when we died in radio, the Sex for Sam thing. And then went over to satellite, and it built. You could feel it, like it was getting momentum. People wanted this. They wanted to hear people speak openly, honestly, and in real language. But then that, again, got fucked by management and people that they're beholden to, that we couldn't speak about anything anymore. Like, I like the idea of speaking about anything.
Anything.
And everything. I think it's detrimental to not be able to talk and to have people that want to shut other people up based on their ideology or anything that they're saying. If you want to take someone off the air or shut them up or fire them from their job, I think that's copping out and saying, look, I can't logically argue or intelligently argue, so I just want them quiet. I want them silenced.
And don't they know that by hamstringing you, they fuck up their product and they open up the door to the internet?
Yeah.
Like, the internet's right there. It's the wolf at the door. It's right there.
It was just a matter of the technology catching up to the talent base out there. When you're on regular radio, you're heard by anybody in their car that could just flip on the radio.
Right.
Satellite, you needed a subscription. You needed the cars to have the radio in it. And in time, that did build up. And there are many satellite listeners. The internet had that problem with technology in that, you had the product, you just couldn't get it out to everybody in every location that they were in. But now cars are Wi-Fi enabled, and people have their phones, and they could download podcasts and web shows and play them in their car as they're going to work, just like they would radio. So, yeah, it's right there. They don't see the danger to their business, and yet they keep making the same mistakes to push people away.
Yeah, they're hamstringing themselves. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And they're doing it because they want to save sponsors, or they don't want people to protest, or they want to save, they're a publicly traded company, so
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
to worry about all that stupid shit.
It's this phony ethical vision that they want to have. They think that people are looking at them in a certain way, and they won't respect them if they don't react to people like me, you know.
Yeah.
And there was really no outcry to have me booted from SiriusXM. No one said anything.
Yeah.
They just went, wow, well,
We have to
gotta get rid of him."
preemptive strike. He's
Yes, preemptive.
saying racial things.
Yes.
It's also a weird thing, like being on a network, like a Sirius XM type thing, where you have all these channels that are like music and Christian radio, and it's like
Weird.
you're selling so much shit, and on top of that,